Hello and welcome back here to coverage of the 10th in LPL Summer. It is Week 5, Day 1 action, and our final game of what has been an absolutely amazing day of League of Legends here from China. LMQ versus World Elite is our last game. My name is Pastry Charm. I'm going to be joined by Papa Smithy. Papa, I don't know what word to use to describe the day we've had, but it's been incredible games of League of Legends back and forth. LMQ versus World Elite. What are your predictions here for this one? Because World Elite, honestly, I think they really just want to keep winning because they've been looking so close to the top of the standings and faltered a little there towards the end. So let me know what you think about this match here.
I mean, my expectations have just been surpassed and challenged and crushed these first three games. So I don't really know what to expect at all. I mean, all I can tell you is that World Elite against Royal, World Elite just looked really out of form. You know, they made some questionable decisions around Dragon. They were just comprehensively beaten by a team that they're usually fairly comfortable against, that Royal. And it looks like they might have done some soul-searching over the weekend, over the long week that they've had to prepare for these games. You have to think we're going to see the decisive World Elite with the strong calls, with the amazing late-game team fights that we've come to expect, rather than the World Elite that's kind of faltered in the mid-game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the theme of Week 5 as we started off with Day 1 seems to be teams just feel refreshed and invigorated, it seems like. I mean, whatever changed between Week 4 and Week 5, everything just seems better. The teams really seem to be tightening up and playing great League of Legends, and everyone looks scary. So I guess we haven't seen these two teams yet in this week. What are we going to see? Very curious here. First pick Orianna for LMQ. The bans for them, of course, Twisted Fate, Rise, and Lee Sin. And Elise, Thresh, and Lissandra, the three there for World Elite, as they can look to pick up their first two champions here.
And interesting, with all the champions available, blind picking your mid lane here is an interesting choice from LMQ. Now, that might end up being, we're starting to reach here. I've managed to call the support Annie. I managed to call the support Syndra. I don't think it's going to be a support Orianna here, but blind picking a mid first pick. Maybe they have some scrim information. Maybe they've been scrimming throughout the week, and that's become a contested pick, but very interesting to me.
Absolutely, and World Elite happily going to take up Shen and Twitch here, so going to get that Twitch who's not banned out in this game. We'll see how Weijia does on that one. Nami on the other side as well as Jarvan, so, LMQ clearly have a plan here. They're kind of building a combo. They've got Jarvan Orianna. Nami's great to kind of follow up with that as well, so they've got a good amount of CC, 3 great AoEs as well already. I think, we make a pick like Orianna, you're probably looking to build around it, and that's exactly what LMQ have done with their first 3 picks here. The next picks, of course, very interesting here potentially from World Elite. Zed here actually going to go in. And Evelyn as well, so curiously, going to go with that jungle Evelyn again, it seems like. And top, I guess mid Zed actually, given that we have Shen.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be, we're going to see once again this Evelyn that's able to engage from the side with, the Shen riding along there. So that's the potential for engage here. And then Zed, who we've actually seen struggle quite a lot in this split of the LPL. Maybe World Elite can actually put a winning Z comp together.
We'll see there. It looks like Vayne here, kind of the standard pickup after Twitch here, so LMQ going to pick that one up. And Cannon actually something that's been banned against Dreams by teams before. He definitely seems to love that champion. Would work great in the comp that they've got as well. When we have seen Twitch been defeated, it's often been diving everything you possibly can at him to try and kill him. And
they've got a Najin sword style do dive comp here to LMQ. Between Kennen and Jarvan with the Orianna ball riding on at least one of them, the fairly immobile Twitch is going to have a lot of troubles, you'd have to say.
And I was going to comment that World Elite seem to commonly be last picking for Fizzif here, interestingly enough. I think I understand why, if he's going to be doing stuff like playing Alistar. He played Blitzcrank in the last game, I think. He's played Syndra. They seem to like last picking support for whatever reason, and if you're holding a surprise, oh, that's disappointing. Looks like Fizzif might switch to Sony here.
Yeah, sorry to crush your dreams of the return of the cow to the competitive play. Only Mad Life really still putting his head out with that Alistar. Alistar, much like Blitzcrank, he doesn't like the 2v1 situation. And because both sides of the map can, we often even see Blue's side initiating a 2v1 swap, the threat of a 2v1 makes champions like Alistar and Blitzcrank, sadly, a bit of a relic of the past in this meta, but still, we're not on that 3.10 yet. We don't know what that might bring, but on 3.9, not going to see much of the Alistar.
No, so we are going to move out now here. LMQ over on the left, the blue side for our last game here. World Elite on the right here. And, hang on a second. Papa Smithy, something's a little wrong here.
I don't think they fail swapped given the summoners here, so, we were talking about World Elite doing something different. This is exactly that.
This is very different. that is Man playing Zed, presumably in mid lane. And our good friend Messiah, the stalwart Twisted Fate player who had a ban against him in this game, seems to be playing Jungle Evelyn, which, funnily enough, is a champion that Man usually loves to play from the jungle. So maybe, I don't know, Messiah's got some tips. He should know.
When Evelyn started becoming that common pick for Man, at the time his username was Troll, the justification was that Clear Love, again, now I'm confusing the terms. Clear Love, also Man and Troll, was a really big AP mid player and loved playing that Evelyn. So it made sense to transition that into a jungle pick. Now everything's going on its head because we have seen the Zed come out of Messiah during this split, but clearly they're trying something different here, and this is a very radical change for World Elite.
It really is. That's a role swap, at least in this game here for World Elite. I guess, it's day one of week 5 here. It'd be very interesting to see whether they keep it throughout this entire weekend. I think more importantly, throughout the rest of the LPL. But, World Elite, you mentioned they were kind of struggling. Something had to change. I guess they didn't want... their roster seems so good. They've got so much experience together as a team.
You couldn't pick out one person and be like, bench this person.
No.
Some people have argued Xiaomei, but he's been so impressive in World Elite's victories this season that I think that would be a bit hasty. So this is like a smaller version of that. And if you remember, when we were casting the Stars War League, we also saw IG do a similar thing where Kid was going into the mid lane and Zatai was trying to 80 carry. So there is precedent for these sort of swaps, but in such a high-risk environment, in a league system, I guess they can afford to lose one game for a lot of information about how these two players perform in competitive play, but they are rotating someone with competitive experience as a mid laner into the mid lane, but Messiah as a jungler is a very...
Oh, Fizzov could be in trouble here. Flash over the top there. Nami looking for the damage. Ignite comes through as well, and that is going to be a dead Sona. Decisive play there from LMQ, and I have to say it was a genius double buff start there. In fact, triple buff now as well as Messiah moves up towards the red. Don't know what exactly happened with the warding at level 1, but Evelyn walked up to that blue buff, took it there with a bit of help coming out from Salmei, and then Sona and Twitch actually gave Twitch blue buff for level 1, which actually led to our first blood there as they were able to cut off that Sona and kill her quite quickly because she is very squishy. So a good start there for World Elite to really take control of the jungle early. Unfortunate for Fizzov that he kind of got cut off there walking through down towards the bottom lane, and he does get first blooded as a result. But now Messiah at the top lane, Salmei gonna look for the flash there. Dreams coming through, so much damage from this Evelyn, nice and early, and very decisive, very, very nice gank there from World Elite.
You only really expect that taunt flash to be used in the late game to close distance, but in the very early laning, it gets them the kill. So very, very nice play from World Elite. And good understanding between the formerly mid laner, now the jungler, and the top laner.
Yeah. Man going aggressive here as well into Xiao Zhao. Again, we kind of noted that no one's moved out of the team, they've just swapped roles on the team. And the one thing that's always been the case from World Elite is their incredible team fight synergy. They've got such great chemistry as a team, so Salmei and Messiah absolutely would understand each other, even if the role swaps changed. So maybe that's what happened in now. Xiao Zhao under pressure in the mid here as well. Damage coming out there, lots and lots of damage after that Orianna. Double Evelyn just does silly, silly amounts of damage if she sticks on you. And, Messiah's looking aggressive here. Again, has one of the best known jungle Evelyn players from China in Man on his team. So I'm sure they've both been helping each other with the swap.
Much the same as with Najin Black Sword, and of course their combination. Sorry, it's not Najin, but it's Katie Bullets and their combination of Cacao and Insect being the Lee Sin masters.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
And Wei Zhao, Avenge is having the worst day of his life because everyone hates the early trading you can do with Venom Cask and Expunge, and Wei Zhao can just do it for no mana cost whatsoever with his blue buff.
Yeah, that blue buff was a nice little stroke of genius there from World Elite, which has been very, very irritating, even more so than usual, as you noted here. And, Avenger, to his credit, CSing nicely here against Wei Zhao. He's a couple ahead, but this is a very difficult lane for Nami and Vayne to navigate early on. And we saw it once already today, actually, I believe, in our opening match. We had Nami Vayne do very, very well. There was some nice jungle pressure. A lot of the pressure here on Messiah here, the early levels. But he's back up towards the top lane. Kennen can't be thinking, is that happening again? But he does back out of that one as Messiah can't quite get the damage out. Lightning rush out for Kennen this time. No flash torn up for Salmei.
I'm impressed to see the CS advantage coming out of Man in the mid lane, just because we saw this matchup in the OGN just a couple of days ago when you were able to see SKTT1's Faker just really dominate as Orianna in this Zed matchup. Starting with that E ability, Faker a fantastic mid lane player, was even able to build the magic resist against Zed and really dominate in terms of CS. But early here, we do see that maybe because of the jungle pressure from Evelyn, a nice little CS advantage coming out for Zed in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, man, despite his long-time player as jungle, you said was a mid player before, no slouch in terms of solo landing here, and Jarvan now for LMQ is known him, looking to maybe camp down the bottom lane. They'd love to kill that Sona again. In fact, there they go in the Aqua Wizard, hits on there as well. Avenger lines up the Condemn, beautiful gank there. All the CCUs absolutely perfectly in time, and all Weijia can do is just do a little bit of damage back to Vayne and keep CSing all on his lonesome down the bottom.
Fizif, he really struggled on the Blitzcrank last game, not having much more fun on the Sona here in early laning, but at least Weijia's not really paying for it. He's not giving his own or anything at this point.
No, but as we mentioned, the biggest difference for Nami Vayne is, you know, they may not be a strong lane in terms of 2v2 presence, but they absolutely, if they catch you out of position, they've got a massive amount of CC and a lot of ability to outplay you as well. And with Jarvan down there for a bit of pressure, there was just nothing that World League could do to get away, although Zed's actually rotating towards the bottom now, man. Level 6 now on Zed. If I get a ride in as well, there's a Deathmark coming through. Stand United rides in there. Salmay going to come in there to look for the damage. A Deathmark pops in there. Wei Zhao aggressively flashing forward to pick up that kill, but takes a few too many. Tower hits the barrier as Nami picks up the last auto attack to pick up the kill. Wei Zhao there thought he had everything calculated, but did not count on a bit of splash there from Nami.
Yeah, and all those resources used just for a trade kill on 80 carries. Definitely the advantage to LMQ.
I have to say though, the question I asked a couple of days ago finally been answered. Oh, sorry, last week finally been answered. It does work. You can stand. I guess you have to stand United first, but you can Deathmark with Shen still riding you in. That is awesome to see, by the way. That was a really cute combo.
Yeah, I believe once it's been cast, there's no way to cancel that cast of the Deathmark. It won't fizzle or anything, as we see Messiah. Very nice stealing on the blue buff here, but is he dead? No, he has flash.
He's got flash. He's forced to use it, unfortunately. Kind of thinks about it for a second. He's like, can I maybe? No, I cannot outplay him from this point. So forced to use that summon a spell, but a nice blue steal there. Times that very, very nicely. Able to pick that one up there and deny blue once more from Orianna, which possibly could be contributing to why Orianna's having a fun time. Although I guess Xiao wasn't going to have it at level 1 anyway, but now it's probably going to have not much fun at all as Zed's picking up his blue buff now.
Yeah, but there might be a red steal here just because No-Name's been waiting in position very patiently with this red buff, so finally going to claim a buff back, but you have to think that all the scouting that's no doubt been done by LMQ kind of has to be thrown out the window when you've got this role swap.
Yeah, I mean, they even loaded into the game, you know, kind of in their intended order there with man in the jungler position. It's kind of funny actually to see, like, looking down to try and find ZCS and be like, oh, he's up there instead of next to Orianna, because of course, normally man and Messiah not playing these roles. They seem to have swapped at least for this game, so very curious. Definitely curious to see how long it lasts here, but looking good so far for World Elite. They're actually behind a kill and a few hundred gold as well, but the synergy certainly seems to be there. Unfortunate that their last gank down the bottom lane with all those resources expended didn't quite go their way they wanted it to. But I mean, World Elite, they're still World Elite. If they can keep playing consistent, methodical League of Legends like they're known for, then I think they're going to be fine. And what I don't think we're going to see is any overly risky play for World Elite. They're probably still feeling out the new lineup with Messiah. You know, they're doing some cute stuff, trying to get the synergy going, keep that up, but for the most part, I think all they really want to do is just get back into form and just keep playing as consistently as they're known for.
And they haven't rocked the boat with this change. You know, they haven't gone for the roster swap, but it still remains to be seen whether this is the best move moving forward.
I mean, pretty exciting here to have it on day 1 of week 5. I mean, we've got 2 more days of play after this. Be curious to see if World Elite stick with it for the next 2 games.
I mean, it could be champion specific, it could be comp specific. We don't know any information apart from, hey, on this week 5 day 1 match, they're going for this crazy roll swap.
As if they're going to clean that out there. Throws a pink ward down at Dragon and collects a word for himself. Just quick looking down the CS here as Salmay gets in onto James. Good amount of damage there for Kennen. Kind of one of the things about Kennen versus X is that Kennen generally has a lot of good lane advantages, especially in the early game when those auto attacks are just so irritating, especially for Shen, who's a melee champion. But if you can ever stop Kennen at one point from lightning rushing out, you can usually do a lot of damage if you can get on top of him. And you know, Shen's not having too hard of a time here. 10 CS down right now in the top lane here. Looks like mid lane still an advantage there for Zed, although Xiao Weijia, to his credit, CSing quite nicely, and Weijia has reclaimed the CS lead there down the bottom by about 5 or so. So really still very, very close between these two teams. 300 gold now between them.
And it remains to be seen how they're going to use this Zed, just because we're always talking about this Zed split pushing, you know, 4v4 team comp strategy when it comes to having Zed, but they've got a Shen already. And you have to think Shen's going to be on the split push, so I'm not sure if they have quite the comp to be able to fight 3v3 and force a double split push situation, but we'll see as the game develops.
I mean, if your 3 champions are going to be any 3, the core they've got's actually not too bad. They ult their Oriana and mid their deathmark, they dodge a bit of damage, Zhao. Could be in a bit of trouble. Forces a flash actually out from Man. Unfortunately, couldn't dodge the ultimate there with that deathmark, but Man does a nice job kind of keeping out of harm's way there. Forced
and Zhao holds on to his summoners, you have to say. Slight advantage to him there.
Yep, still has his flash up, Man. Now forced back to base here. As Evelyn was actually down towards the bottom, and they're Jarvan in the tri-bush looking to make things happen there. Somewhere again, a great taunt there on the cannon, and Dreams really gets another bad end of that trade here. Is ambush now going to get used? I think they're actually setting up for something. They've got 2 invisible champions, but they don't know Jarvan's kind of creeping around here. This could get really interesting down the bottom end, and here comes Jarvan in, but they don't know Messiah's here. A flash out there as well. They're going to stand United in the tidal wave. They're going to knock them off, but Avenger's getting dropped there as spray and praise get activated. Now Fizz is trying to get away there. No Name wants to pick up the kill. Flashes for the last auto attack to pick it up, but he will die there as well. And you can never forget about the globals, Papa Smith. He dreams up the top lane, trying to push down as hard as he can. But another nice little bit of pressure there. The Evelyn Shen combo continues here in the landing phase, and all the efforts forward lead are focused down the bottom. You have to think they're going to get this tower now as well.
And Oriana's just gone for shopping, so Zed's there to pick off here, and potentially they might pick up the dragon as well, which would be a big win in terms of objectives here for Waterlake. Man
already walked towards that one. Looks like Weizhou just going to stand for the last little turret hit. I mean, kind of telegraphing the dragon here by walking in that direction, but really, World Elite, they'd love to pick it up here again. Turn a couple of kills there and the tower into this dragon as well. Pick up a nice big bundle of global gold. They do get it there as Weizhou going to be the one to last hit there. He's like, yeah, I'll take the extra CS, thanks guys. And now people are going to go shop. Twitch may have his Blade of the Ruin King here. I mean, Vayne couldn't quite finish hers, so if Twitch can do so here, and he can, that's a very big spike in power.
He doesn't have the Boots 2 though, and Boots 2 could be the difference in terms of maneuverability here, but you're right. That combine, you know, that 1,000 gold you spend on finish that item gives you so much more power. You know, it's a big power jump for Weizhou, but I think despite that item disadvantage, it'll be a very equal skirmish between Weizhou and Avenger.
I mean, when it's Twitch versus Vayne 1v1, and they both have Blade of their own kings, usually Vayne comes out on top here, so Avenger not too far behind as a result with the daggers and the Berserker Greaves. It's just kind of funny though, Buildwater Cutlass is such a great item, and it builds, you know, from a Vamp Scepter, which you kind of already want anyway. It's kind of cheap from that point, only 400 gold. It's amusing to me how awful 2 daggers feels in your recipe, and the difference between getting your Buildwater and finish your Blade of the Rune King is usually very, very big.
Exactly, that first 1,400 gold, that Bilgewater, a lovely, lovely buy. Builds well, you can build a Vamp Scepter, another longsword, the 200 gold, that's all fine. But the only champion who can really tolerate those double daggers is Vayne. You know, if Vayne, you do start putting those early points into W, raw attack speed is a fairly decent stat for you in lane. And so, it's okay, but you're right, it's that 1,000 gold.
Oh, no name in the top now as well. Looking again comes Salme. The slashing Maelstrom coming through. Shen's going to get stunned up now, so I think that's a dead ninja. Looks like it is their Cataclysm just to make sure. And apologies for cutting you off there, but that is, ult missed in there as well, but Messiah will be okay.
That's okay, the point was made. There's Messiah. He is a little bit underleveled, he's only the level 7 here, but the Oracles, just to be that invisible ward killer and that thorn in the side of LMQ.
Does have a Spirit of the Elder Lizard up here as well, so, you know, not doing too badly on items, but definitely lacking a little in experience, as you noted. I actually noticed something before that was interesting that I wanted to ask you about. Weizhou and Fitz were actually freezing the bottom lane at one point. Now, of course, they're letting it push. I don't know if this is the slow push that World let it go for, if they had something else going on here, but do you have any insight at all? Because the camera just kept panning back, and I was like, oh, Weizhou's just waiting the last hit.
It's an interesting thing just because, look, the red buff is here on Avenger, so you'd expect, if anything, it was the other way around, but it wasn't the slow push so much, it's just good wave control from Weizhou and Fizz.
Just wanting to make sure that they can deny Avenger where they can here. Oops, steals the golem as well. So Fizz of Weizhou now going to waddle away from the bottom area. Little worried there, I mean, Dreams is actually down there as well, Jarvan even rotating forward, so good sense there from World Elite to back out from the bottom half of the map. Zed here, looking towards his item. I lost him for a second there because he was in the wrong spot. Brutalizer Vampire, except not quite up to Blade of the Ruin King, but a good chunk of CS. Actually overtaking it on. There's Weizhou in the mid lane. That's bad news for Xiao Weizhou. Deathbuck on top in there as well. The spray and pray there, and that is going to be a kill as Twitch is going to pick that one up, but the tidal wave's coming through. Music there with the ultimate as Stand United comes through as well. The spray and pray there does wear off though. No Name now taking a good chunk of damage, but not quite enough there from that Twitch to be able to pick it off. I mean, World Elite, a team that were once known for their globals. Ultimates here for Salmei, absolutely perfect here, and synergizing very nicely with a lot of the things that World Elite are doing with, you know, some cute invisibility. We've got the death mark going on, and with a nice bit of pressure there, they are able to take out not only Orianna, but the very crucial outer turret in mid as well. And
importantly, we're seeing the return of the getting picks and taking objectives, which is what World Elite does when they're on form. They haven't been on form, especially in the last game. That was kind of the tipping point, kind of the genesis of all the issues that they've clearly tried to counter with a role swap here. It's not looking bad at this early stage. It's not a big global gold lead, but World Elite have been playing smart, and it feels like Messiah and Man are tuning to their roles quite well.
Yeah, I mean, haven't kind of had too long to practice, but certainly not looking too bad here, as you mentioned. Dreams has his zonies up here. Shen, on the other hand, Sunfire Cape now finished up, so going to get that push on potentially. Very curious to see when Man finishes up the Blade of the Ruined King. I assume that's what he's going for with that Vampiric Scepter. I mean, could, if he really wants to build a Bloodthirster, which maybe, given that the fact they already have a split pusher, makes some sense, although Blade of the Ruined King still does respectable damage on Zed. So I don't think there's a huge difference there between BT and Bork. It looks like
they're very similar items. I mean, Blade of the Ruined King gives you a little bit more kill pressure, and Bloodthirster gives you a little bit more wave clear, so probably going to be the Blade of the Ruined King, pick up everything considered.
Have to think so. Push there from LMQ down the mid as well, picks up the mid turret for themselves, so 2 for 2 now on that metric. World Elite, a very slim lead here of only 500 gold, so a finely balanced game here. I mean, to their credit, World Elite are playing very, very, very safe here, very, not passive so much, but they're just, again, playing the League of Legends they're known for. Very safe, very methodical, just making sure they don't make too many mistakes. But LMQ, all they really need is one play here, with No Name here on Java and has his oracles. Certainly both teams are able to make picks happen. It's just a matter of, given the game plans that they're going for, given what they want. There's a Cataclysm actually on the Fizz. They're going to force a flash there. That was very aggressive. Dreams actually going to catch him up. A good taunt there from Salmei, but Sona's dead there as Orianna's able to use that ultimate. The question then for LMQ, what objective do they get from here? Because that's a lot of ultimates used for only a kill and a support.
Absolutely, and it's the long-suffering Fizz of this game has been dying time and time again. Crucially, everyone else stays alive. You know, he is 4 of the 5 deaths on the World Elite side, and they don't really lose anything from it whatsoever.
I mean, just Fizzif, they can probably give up Sona once more. As you said, you know, he already died a couple times. It's not too bad. Blade of the Ruined King has been finished up by Man, by the way, so that was the choice there for Zed. Looks like Dragon's going to come back up. In fact, LMQ, maybe time they pick a little awkwardly. Again, they use so much there. They use, I think, 1 or 2 flashes plus 3 ultimates to get the kill onto Sona, and looks like World Elite are actually just going to be like, alright, fine, you can have Fizzif, we'll take Dragon.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they can't account for this double Blade of the Ruined King completion there. So much damage on the objective so quickly.
Salmei there, very sneaky there. Dreams now getting jumped on as well. Cannon though, no ultimate anyway. There's No Name goes in though. Spray and pray activated for Wei Jiao's. He's trying to do the damage through the Avenger. Getting reasonably low there. Man actually getting chased away, but Zed's okay just for now. Then the rest of World Elite really piling it on there. A good contend there from Avenger. Crescendo just missing there for Fizzif as well. I think somebody flashed out of that one though. Wei Jiao got to be careful, maybe getting jumped on. Man here, trying to defend him there as Flash comes through. And there's the barrier flash out from Wei Jiao, but he still dies there. Messiah has to get out there as well. Just lives on a sliver of health there, protecting the Oracles for a couple seconds longer there. But a 2-for-1 trade there in favor of LMQ. Looks like they're going to be able to pressure this tier 3 turret as well in mid. And a bit awkward there for World Elite, I have to say. Kind of picked that Dragon up and got caught in a very weird spot.
It was just a weird fight. I mean, Wei Jiao was free hitting for so long and getting a few members low, but then kind of got greedy for some exit kills. Ended up with the trade, and just an awkward fight all around, I think, for both teams.
I think with Wei Jiao, part of the issue there was that, I mean, he got tidal waved, which is a little awkward, so that's going to break up some of his spray and pray duration, but he was mainly just trying to kill No Name. He wasn't really in range of Avenger at that point. And I mean, killing the tank's always great, but No Name was actually off to the side. If he'd repositioned a little and maybe gone for Vayne when he could, that would have been a bit better, but it's hard to say there. I think LMQ did a really good job of wasting spray and pray's duration when activated, and were able to follow up with World Elite. It's just kind of splitting their positioning a little too much there. And you know, when you have that many flashes available, it's awkward to have to use them and either flash over walls to just be able to get away, or actually die in a lot of the cases. Their World Elite used a couple of flashes they probably didn't need to in that last fight, so a bit awkward there for them. I mean, LMQ still behind by a few hundred gold, so a very, very close game here still, but I mean, World Elite, there's probably still, you know, going through a couple of growing pains here. Wei Jiao here, oh my goodness, the submarine play Avenger! Gonna get taunt, no, he misses! He missed the taunt! Salmei, he'll be absolutely kicking himself. In fact, the rest of the team coming through as well. Maybe they do need to bench him. No name there. Cataclysm hits all three members of the Oriana ball as well. Cannon ultimate on top of it. Tidal there knocks up man. Blade of the Ruin King now in there as well. Summer though not quite getting chased on. There's the stun there from Cannon. Dreams with red buff. Going to be able to chase out the Zed. Living Shadow. He death marks there. Dodges some damage. Living Shadow not enough. A good attempt there. I have to give man credit for that kill. That was a very creative way of trying not to die, but unfortunately not to be there. An LMQ.
All from a mechanical error patient time, and although I was having some fun at Xiaomei's expense, that mechanical error cost them 3 kills, potentially an inhibitor turret here. A massive trade just from one missed taunt.
And it's one of those things, all the safety that World Elite have been playing with, all the precision. I mean, they make stuff like globals look good because they just play so well as a team, and that play is not something you ever expect World Elite to miss. That should be routine for them. And
I mean, it's not just World Elite based on any team in the LPL, any team at the top level.
Sure.
Going that poorly, like losing 3 on having the advantage and having the submarine advantage and having 2 people showing up out of stealth, just a massive, massive misplay.
Yeah, man, and World Elite, they've done plenty of cute things all game long with Zed Deathmark, I mean, just with Shen Ultimate in general, with Evelyn as well, with Twitch Ambush. They've had so many sweet options in terms of initiation, and for the most part, they've gone right. That was one they really didn't want to have go wrong, and unfortunately for them, I mean, they're not out of it, thankfully. Here's Man going to get chased down. Avenger really nowhere to run for this Zed. The damage coming to Oriana on just at the end. They clipped it. Great Deathmark there for Vayne. Sorry for Zed, but it's a little in vain there, as Man still manages to fall down. I mean, World Elite now have to run back towards their middle inhibitor, I think, to try and defend that one off. And of course, Baron's a threat here as well. There are so many pink wards around there for LMQ, not to mention, I believe, in Oracles as well. Yep, there you can see on Nami, the Oracle's up in there as well. I mean, inhibitors are wide open here as well.
It doesn't look like they'll be able to contest it without Man being up. I think it'll be smart just to stay back, but they're looking to pressure.
I mean, they might try something here, but the inhibitor's already dead. World Elite. There's little things in this game. I mean, it may just be that one taunt that missed, and if that's the case, Samuel's going to be kicking himself this game. I mean, this game's still very, very close. It was so close for the longest time, but LMQ have kind of been given a gift here with those last 3 kills. Now the
Absolutely, that's probably the best way to put it, Patient. That was literally kills falling into their lap.
And really, I mean, LMQ are playing kind of the old OMG comp at this point. They've got so many good ways to pick people off with ultimates. They can get the freight train rolling, and World Elite may have given them the opportunity to really push that down the hill and pick up speed. The middle inhibitor is going to give them a lot of pressure here. The Baron, of course, very important at this point. And you have to think that's where LMQ are going to look to make their pressure next. Try and clear out exclusive vision. World Elite going to try something here, but eventually those minions are going to push their way down the mid lane, and World Elite need to answer when that happens.
Yeah, they're 4 men in the top here, which isn't really a viable option for them when there's super minions pushing into mid. They're just going to get pinned into a bad spot, but they're trying to pressure around Baron. Just trying to be relevant here to try and force the last fight, you'd have to say. Yeah,
I mean, they want to make a play happen, but you can see Miniwave's definitely pushing up into that base there. They're just kind of at the edge here. Man going to back off, actually.
I mean, he's a very fast wave pusher, so it's definitely the best choice to be able to go over there and clear those waves fast.
Absolutely. LMQ now moving up. Again, just trying to clear out wards. Very cute there from Nami. Actually clears it over the side there as the team kind of moves through, forcing World Elite just slightly backing towards their side of the map here. Really want to clear out all the vision around the Baron area, so, you know, if they ever want to look to take it or threaten to take it, they have exclusive vision of that area here. I mean, Zed did a little bit of pushing. The waves definitely still pushing quite aggressively. Super minions are super minions, Papa Smithy. It can be quite hard to deal with here. I mean, the wave clear here for World Elite, not too bad, but it kind of relies on Zed using his gap closer.
Static Shiv is the pickup on Twitch, though, which does open up some very fast wave clear with a Venom cast, Expunge, and the Static Shiv prop.
That's true. So Twitch able to clear waves out nice and quickly here as well. I mean, World Elite, they'll try to defend this tier 2 as long as they can, but the problem is there's just massive amounts of super minions moving towards the Nexus turrets now. And LMQ, all they have to do is be patient. Someone from World Elite needs to leave.
I mean, Xiaomei is here. He is on Shen. He does have that ultimate available. He seems like the likely choice, but they seem caught between going for an engage to try and rest the momentum back here and clearing their waves.
Messiah, I think, just got spotted by a water zone. In fact, they find him there. Jump on him. Beautiful vision ward spots him off, and you could see the theory there. Messiah's like, if they have sight wards, I'm fine. They can't see me. I can come around the back and we can make something happen, but not to be that time around. Just gets instantly spotted and taken out by the Oracles there for Nami, and that's awful news for Woodley. That was kind of their last play here in this game, it seems like. They're still worrying about their mid pushing in. They've kind of gone back and cleared out the way, but now their top inhibitor turret's getting pressured. I don't know what they can do at this point. I mean, the gold lead is... This lead is already slipped away from Mortal Elite. It is really, really catching up with them now. The gap is getting larger and larger here as LMQ take over more and more of the map.
In terms of sheer gold, though, pastry time, it's very manageable. But in terms of objectives, you know, now just the top inhibitor turret to defend in that lane, that's where World Elite's really smarting here. I mean, could they win a straight-up 5v5 fight? I think it'd be difficult, but it's in the realm of possibility. It might not even matter in this game just because of all the global objectives and the global pressure that's being put down by LMQ.
I mean, at this point, World Elite is going to be forced into bad choices. There's pressure at the top that can potentially be problems for them by taking out their quick inhibitor turret into inhibitor. The mid inhibitor still pushing with the super mid interior, and of course, Baron is so important at this stage in the game. And LMQ, all they really have to do is be patient here. They've basically got complete control of 2/3 of the map. And World Elite trying to do what they can here, but I'm just kind of looking back. I mean, Messiah, everyone's kind of got a reasonable amount of gold, but everyone is really struggling in this game. Spirit of the Elder Lizard was finished up at a reasonable time, but not even close to just Aegis at this point around. And there's Dragon going down there as well. The bottom outer turret falls as well. LMQ just kind of picking up objectives where they can. Getting slightly more ahead in terms of gold. Maybe helping the bottom wave push down there as well. Try and get some push going there.
I mean, clearly from this game, Messiah is not a competitive level jungler yet. He's done fine, he's been very capable, but he hasn't been able to impact and take the game by the scruff of the neck like you might hope for from a competitive level jungler. He's still struggling, he's done very serviceably this game, but have they really gained much from this role swap? Not as far as I can tell, but if it's a long-term investment, important experience coming out for both men.
Definitely going to be an interesting week here in the LPL. Already great matches all day here, and the last one here, not looking good for World Elite. LMQ, love to pick up a win though, of course, and it really does seem like week 5 is just all the teams getting stronger here. I mean, the old guard's fading out a little. The new blood seems to really be giving it to some of the veteran teams now, especially in this week, and we'll see if that thing continues over the weekend. This mid inhibitor is going to fall one more time here. Well, almost. Maybe not. World Elite looking to defend here. Never mind, I think LMQ pushing in. Feel very confident in this spot. Jarvan there with the Orianna ball riding in there. Pretty much can initiate at any moment. Dreams as well, zoning out, throwing out some autos here and there. Samo's trying to go in there, looking for the death back on top of Avenger as well. Tidal Wave though, trying to disengage here, and Dreams forces the zombies. That crescendo now coming through, but it's not quite enough there as Cataclysm holds up everybody else there. Avenger is very low, may just die. Lifesteals! I think he even hit a ward there to not die to Deadly Venom. And that was a very fast team fight, mainly up towards the back there. A 5-for-1 fight there in favor of LMQ, and World Elite, they tried something different. It's not going to work this game. And it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of the Week 5 weekend goes.
Absolutely, and the interesting point is, do they return to the faithful Messiah back in the mid lane, Man back in the jungle, or do they persevere? Maybe it is smart enough just to leave one weekend with this trial. Give it 3 games, just because one game doesn't tell you very much. I mean, Messiah was a little bit off the pace. Man got caught a couple of times in mid lane when he maybe shouldn't have. But I mean, all you can take away from this game is just kind of the recreation of what happened last season. Last season, at the time, LMQ were known as just Livermore. Now, of course, they are the full LMQ TC. They pulled the gauntlet with the Shaco pick, and the split push Shaco took down World Elite, and that was kind of a huge upset that season. This result this season still a big upset, but it's almost like World Elite were the ones that pulled the big change. They pulled, sending the long-time mid lane, and Messiah's been mid lane for as long as competitive League of Legends has been around, throwing him into the jungle, letting Man have a go on mid. It didn't work out. So in both cases, the gimmicks have worked against World Elite. But what World Elite we see tomorrow, no way to know whatsoever.
No, and we close out a fantastic day of League of Legends here at Week 5, Day 1. Of course, if you've missed any of the matches from today, and any of the other weeks, feel free to check them out over at youtube.com/LOLChampSeries. You can check out the coverage here. We are done though. It's been a nice long night here, a great day of League of Legends here for the Tencent LPL Summer. My name is Pastry Jam. I've been joined by Papa Smithy, and we're signing off for today here, Week 5, Day 1, Tencent LPL Summer.